Imagine being the smallest kid in every room. Never the fastest, nor the brightest. A perpetual underdog. Well, that was me. I found myself consistently below the average, never daring to be anything extraordinary. But not anymore. I discovered a unique superpower that has transformed my life. A power that I want to share with all of you today. The power of Mind Diary. My journey took me to Stanford, where as an undergrad, I had the opportunity to work alongside some of the brightest minds in the Silicon Valley. However, it's important to understand that I didn't get here by being the gifted kid with inherent talents. I was not one of the chosen ones. But you see, as individuals, we don't always need to be chosen. The narrative of my Mind Diary began through the embrace of self-awareness and self-acceptance. And by going on a pursuit of self-discovery and self-growth, I finally experienced the beauty of self-love. It's a transformation that reveals the powerful potential within each of us. Together, let's use Mind Diary to explore the depths within ourselves and unveil the path to self-love. Now, my Mind Diary began back in high school. I had a friend with an old beat-up Mini Cooper. And every time he picked me up from school, I remember how its check engine lights would always be flashing, and the tires were practically screeching for help. And every time I asked if he was ever going to take it for repair, he'd always brush me off with a casual, "But it still works." Now, to nobody's surprise, weeks later, the car collapsed on the road, and the collapse rendered it beyond repair. Just like the Mini Cooper, however, I experienced a similar awakening 3 years ago. As I finally landed my dream job, driven with ambition, I immersed myself in work, often driving myself to the brink of exhaustion. It was like any other Monday night. After working another long day, I stood on the sidewalk, starving, while waiting to pick up my first meal of the day. All of a sudden, my vision began to blur, and I started to get lightheaded. But just like my friend did with the Mini Cooper, I brushed it off. The next moment hit me. As I lost control of my legs and my consciousness at the same time, I felt my momentum carry me forward. Boom! As my face collided with the concrete pavement below. I could feel my front teeth flying out of my gums. In complete shock, I closed my eyes, hoping that this was just a nightmare. But as I opened them again, reality has hit me in the face. This was not a dream. Bleeding profusely and suffering a severe concussion, I was rushed to the hospital. And after getting 8 hours of treatment in the ER, I ended up with over 20 stitches and quite a few missing front teeth. It was a night where my life flashed its warning lights. Now, when it comes to the Mini Cooper, I think we can all agree that taking it for periodic maintenance seems like common sense. But as a car is just a materialistic means to an end, why is that, with our own singular lives, so finite, so irreplaceable, we often neglect the practice of self-care and self-maintenance? It's as if we're driving the Mini Cooper with our body, hearing the strange engine noises, but choosing to ignore them and continue onwards, hoping that the internal issues will miraculously resolve themselves. So let's extend the same level, if not greater level of care, to ourselves, for our own well-beings. And let's check in to see what warning lights might be flashing in our own lives today. Now, growing up with a single mother who faced significant challenges as an immigrant, I witnessed a remarkable transformation. In her late 40s, facing the language barriers as an immigrant, she decided to quit her job as a waitress in hopes of learning English and finance for the first time, hoping that she could get a license in financial planning for a better future for both of us. Now, growing up in high school, I must admit, I struggled to grasp the purpose of school, and I lacked the motivation to engage with these endless stacks of textbooks. But in just one evening, my perspective changed forever. As I came home that night, eager to indulge in video games, I came across a scene so powerful that it remains vividly imprinted in my memory today. In the corner of our dimly lit one-bedroom apartment, my mother sat there, hunched over, while studying with unyielding focus. She patiently sounded out each word from a textbook that dwarfed all of mine. Standing there in awe, and frankly, in shame, I questioned my own excuses. Coming to this foreign land as an immigrant, I was given more opportunities, so my mother could have less. My mother eventually went on to become a very successful financial planner. But you see, it was her action, not words, that ignited a fire inside me to succeed in my own life for my own reasons. Experiencing the power of influence so early on, I began to be curious. So during my undergraduate studies at UBC, I decided to apply to Stanford for exchange, curious to explore the power of influence further by surrounding myself with the pinnacle of outliers. Now here's my biggest takeaway from my time at Stanford. You see, Stanford had a different philosophy, and it wasn't just about the academics or the intelligence, but the mindset. Conversations with my Stanford alumni yielded me an inspiring perspective. Andy, you should consider taking this class because the professor specializes in your field of interest and invests in ventures like yours. My time at Stanford can be characterized by a culture of ambition and intentionality, as my peers often encouraged me to embrace the challenges that aligned with my curiosity and my aspirations. Influence, I've come to realize, is the most potent catalyst for transformation and change. It's the collective energy of like-minded individuals propelling each other to reach greater heights. Now, have you ever wondered just how many decisions we make each day? Here's a number for you. Did you know that on average, each one of us makes an average of 35,000 decisions every single day? From the moment we decide to wake up to silence the alarm, to the instant we decide to brush our teeth, our existence is a tapestry woven with these seemingly insignificant decisions. However, it is these very same micro decisions that unconsciously steer the course of our lives. Upon returning from Stanford, I carried forth that growth mindset. My senior year at UBC, as a full-time student, I also decided to work as a full-time financial advisor at TD Canada Trust, while also starting my first company called Prep Your Meal. Now, all these experiences propelled my professional career, and they honed my business acumen. But above all, they imparted an important life lesson that I want to share with all of you today. I learned that success isn't merely about reaching an endpoint. Although being a founder of a meal prep company or a banker wasn't my final calling, it was these moments of learning and growth in the process that were the true essence that defined my journey. Now, recognizing the power of the mind, and that the only difference between someone who achieves a goal and someone who merely dreams about them is the act of decision. The pressing question arises: how do we condition our minds to approach and navigate through these tougher decisions in those moments that matter to us? Well, it all begins by seeking comfort in moments of discomfort. Just like how we can train our bodies to be stronger through workouts and challenges, our minds actually operate on a similar principle. Discipline is a skill that we can cultivate by being more self-aware with our decisions. The more we allow ourselves to navigate discomfort, the more adaptable we become in those moments. Now, show of hands, who's heard of the cold shower challenge? I decided to embark on my own 30-day challenge. Now, beyond the known health benefits, this challenge was about something more for me. It was a challenge to the mind, a test of discipline. The decision to turn the shower handle all the way left where the freezing cold water awaited, rather than the comfort and warmth on the right, was a daunting one. But it was a conscious decision to seek discomfort from the moment I opened my eyes every single morning. With a shaky start to day one, I barely lasted just a minute before running out. But I persisted. With each passing day, enduring just a little bit longer, then something remarkable happened by the third week. As I didn't hesitate before stepping into the shower, I didn't gasp for air, and I certainly didn't run out. Somehow, amidst the freezing cold water in the heart of Toronto's winter, I found solace and comfort. In the embrace of discomfort, I discovered a powerful gift that resides within each of us: the power of self-adaptation. However, to unlock self-adaptation, it requires us to take that deliberate step and confront those challenges head on, and allowing our bodies and minds to adapt to them in the process. Now, continuing to take cold showers till this day, I realized that those 30 days wasn't just about transforming my morning routine. They revealed the power and potential of training the mind, and emphasized on the power of Mind Diary in seeking comfort in moments of discomfort. Now, in the vast landscape of decision-making and self-discovery, the inevitable obstacle and roadblock we all eventually come across is uncertainty. Now, uncertainty has been a constant companion in my journey, as I found it at every pivotal juncture, grappling with the unknown. Even the very opportunity to stand before you today, sharing these vulnerable reflections of my journey, although confident in my message, I am uncertain of its reception. I don't know with certainty if my talk will resonate with any of you sitting here today. But you see, it is these moments of uncertainty where the seed of personal growth takes root. Instead of falling under the weight of doubt, I found solace in the belief that every unknown carries the potential for discovery, and that the beauty of life not isn't knowing the outcome, but in daring to tread the path. Because the reality of it is that regardless what lays ahead, you will never be certain unless you have already explored the uncertainty. Now, along this journey, I discovered a powerful cure to uncertainty: curiosity. However, curiosity is a gift that we all once possessed, but is often buried beneath the mundane routines of our lives. In the pursuit of our goals, we often tick off boxes on our to-do list, as if life was a predetermined destination that's a linear path. But what if I told you that the beauty in life lays in the process of discovery, in believing that the exploration of the reward far outweighs the risk of uncertainty? So instead of addressing uncertainty as a roadblock, let's recognize it as an opportunity. As we journey through life, it's a universal truth that days may feel long, but years are so short as they slip through our fingers like grains of sand. We often deceive ourselves into thinking there's an infinite supply of tomorrows. I can always pick it up later, we tell ourselves. But the reality of it is that our window of opportunity is shrinking with each passing day. You see, the journey of self-discovery through Mind Diary isn't just about achieving success. It's actually about something profoundly deeper. It's about self-love. Imagine looking into the mirror and seeing someone you not only recognize, but genuinely love. Someone who appreciates their uniqueness, leverages their strength, embraces their flaws, while continues to be curious and seeks for self-growth. It becomes a level of self-awareness that transforms into a self-love that is resilient, empowering, and boundless. It is often said that we cannot truly love others until we learn to love ourselves. But how do we achieve that? Well, the secret to the Mind Diary begins by discovering our curiosities, embracing discomfort of the unknown, and making intentional, micro decisions that lead us closer to our authentic selves. Here's the challenge I want to leave with everyone today. Can you dedicate just 30 days, investing merely 15 minutes each day to something you're curious about? It's not about setting unattainable expectations. Instead, it's about embarking on a journey of self-discovery and self-care. Imagine an interest or passion that has lingered in the shadows of your life, waiting for the right moment. Perhaps it's finally picking up that book from the shelf, or learning a new language, or nurturing a garden. Regardless what that might be, as I share my story with you today, instead of prescribing a formula for success, I recognize that everyone is different, each with their unique starting point and journey. So this story isn't a directive to mimic my path to success. Instead, it's an invitation to take the initiative in crafting your own unique narrative. I invite you to recognize the power within each of us. And remember, you don't need to be chosen, but you need to choose. Right now. Welcome. This is where your Mind Diary begins.